welcome back everybody. You here? How's it going? Let's check and see if the stream's up. I'm always nervous that it's like not linked properly or what have you. We've had so many mishaps. So let's see if we can get it. Oh, good. Okay. Perfect. So thanks if you're joining live. Thanks if you're watching in the future. If you're watching in the future, I'll try to go back and include timestamps. It's been a hot minute since we've just gotten to do just like a chill whatever stream. So that's what today's going to be. I have some materials from the Protospiel trip up in Madison this past weekend, and I thought that this would be a great opportunity to do some junk journaling on stream, which I've never done before. So we'll see if that works with like dividing my focus between tasks. But I thought that that might be a pretty chill thing to try, since junk journaling is something that I've, as you can see, clearly gotten into over the past 2 months or so. And I thought, like I said, it would be a great opportunity to share more about the Madison trip, the Protospiel convention that we went to. I just put up a vlog this morning just showing some of the like little visual highlights from that, but I'd love to talk more about it and share some thoughts about just kind of, you know, where the channel's at, where I've been, board games in general, whatever comes up, I'm down. We're here for it. So yeah. I think we'll start off like some like food related things that we did, and I have some like game specific things that we did. I kind of want to like I have 3 pages left in my junk journal, and so I'm thinking I kind of want to do like a page for food, a page for game stuff, maybe 2 pages for game stuff, and that's it. Maybe at the end I'll do a flip through of all the junk journaling that I've done so y'all can see it. I don't know if I'll be able to finish all 3 pages on stream here today. I've been doing about 1 page daily since let's take a look and see, since Friday, September 12th. And for those of you who don't know it, if you don't know what junk journaling is, basically it's just collecting random stuff like junk, and trying to put it together into like a collage format. And the journaling portion is like, you know, you can look back and see like a bunch of fun memories. Like I was building a castle block, we had corn muffins, we played Mystic Mischief, went to Dunkin' Donuts, the bunnies were cute. So yeah, it's just like a visual kind of diary with some artistry there. So maybe I'll do a flip through at the end showing everything. But I'm gonna jump into working on this. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I guess technically I have kind of like 4 pages here that I could do. But I think I'm gonna leave this one for food. And then I want to do this one for board game stuff, which is where we're gonna get started here today. So I have a lot of different things. I'm just gonna take a minute to sort through some of the different ones. But I thought it would be nice to just start by talking about some of the stuff from Protospiel. So as I said in the vlog video, Protospiel, for those of y'all who are not familiar, is a convention where it's all centered around looking at up and coming board game designs. So you can bring prototypes of games in kind of any state of development, as long as they're like just not fully published and good to go. So that is you know, where we were at this weekend, and we got to do a lot of other fun things in and around Madison as a result of that, which was really nice. I grabbed a couple things too in my junk journal from that, and I'm just working through them here right now just to see where we're at. We didn't actually go here, so maybe I'll toss these off to the side. General Madison stuff, some other things from places we visited. Okay, maybe we'll do something kind of like that, and then the board game related stuff is all here. So yeah, I'd never been to Protospiel before, but as y'all know, I'm very interested in board game design and like thinking critically about the designs of games. So I felt like it was a great opportunity to go and play test and give feedback and all sorts of fun things like that. So I have my badge here. We have some ribbons that you can attach to your badge, which was really cute and fun. I've never seen that. Not that I've been to a lot of conventions, but I've never seen that at a convention before. But everybody was very welcoming, and I really enjoyed. I think I want this in there like that. And what we might do is just cut this in half if we can. Do that. Yeah, thinking about some of the games that we got to try out. On day one, we kind of just stopped in very briefly to check out the convention, get our badges, and all of that before we went off to do other things. So the first game that we played that y'all might have seen in the vlog was called Grazers and Grazers. It was a dexterity game using magnets. So you had a little like UFO that slid out on the table, and then little magnet pieces. There were cows which could go in the center, and then the opposite of those were the aliens, which could go into like 3 slots around the edges of that UFO, and they were opposites, right? So if you slide the cow side, it would only stick to the center versus the other ones. I think a dexterity game was a great way to start off the convention. As y'all know, I love dexterity games, so that was very fun. And it was cool getting to try out a prototype version. I was the only one who did end up getting a cow in its prototype state, so just saying. Queen of Dexterity didn't score a damn point beyond that, but it was very fun. And then after that, we got to play part of a 5-player game of a game called Stagecraft, which is like a worker placement Euro style game about the theater. That was pretty fun. I think there was a lot more take that than I typically enjoy in games, but I think if you're a fan of, you know, theater productions, which I know a lot of our group are very musical theater inclined, it was a cool theme to see in a worker placement game. For me, I think it triggered too many PTSD moments from past lived experiences working in the music industry and working in theaters. But the theme was really great, and there was clearly a lot of passion for the cards and things like that. All right, we got our badge. I'm gonna stick this on here. Like, and I will say, as I'm going through the game, there was one experience that we had at Protospiel that I did not include in the vlog because I did not get any photo or other types of evidence of it happening. It was a very special moment. It was like the perfect way to end the convention. It was like the highlight of, I don't even know, insert some ridiculous amount of time here. So I'll get to that in a moment, but just to throw that out there, there was one very big part of the convention that I did not include yet being the operative word. After that, we ended up going to Noble Knights. I traded in some games. Ta-da! So like those 2 big boxes of games that I was carrying. Let's see, maybe we'll do a little map back here for the edges. Be good. So I'm gonna cut this out. Oops, I forgot my paper cutter. Whoops. But yeah, I went to Noble Knight, traded in 2 big boxes of games, got a very fair price in store credit for the games I was dropping off, which was great because they were just sitting around taking up space anyway. And then, yeah, the staff was nice enough to individually price out games. So there were a couple that I hung on to just to like donate or gift versus trading in that I thought people might enjoy. Where I'm like, oh, I won't miss, you know, this amount of store credit. And as I've mentioned many times on the channel, but in case it's been missed, Noble Knight is our channel sponsor, so there is a link down in the description if you want to check out their holiday sale and support the channel directly. But I have been a customer of theirs since 2015 when I first got into the hobby. They're right across the border from where I'm at. They're up in Wisconsin. just south of Madison. So it was like the perfect opportunity to go up there and be able to visit the store in person, to drop off games and trade them in. Yeah, I think I want this in like the 2 corners. So we're probably gonna cut this in half. And yeah, the reason that I originally found them as just a regular old customer was because of their trade-in program. And I actually drove up there with a buddy of mine who was also trading in games, and we were able to get some credit to buy some new games, and it's just been a blast ever since. They really have the best customer service, and that is, you know, speaking as someone who was just previously just a customer, and speaking about them as like working with them here on the channel. Just very grateful, very fun time, a lot of amazing games. And that's the other thing that I always, if I'm up there, I'm gonna stop by the physical store because they have such a wide inventory of games. Online, it's like I'm looking and I'm finding all these new games, but there's always more. So like just browsing around in the store, I'm always looking for like little small box games and things like that. Oh no, this map is ripping. And I ended up finding a couple which I talked about on the unboxing stream. Like Dice Pool Party looks really cute, but I never would have seen that online just browsing through, I don't think. So ew, are we good? Frozen? Are we live? Happening? Okay, I think we're fine. I can never tell if it's my camera equipment or my internet or what's going on. But yeah, we got to stop at Noble Knight, which was really fun. And then we ended up checking into our hotel in South Madison and going back. All right, so this is just gonna be how this is, I guess. All right, this is what we got. Close enough. It's just for the edges anyway. I'm gonna glue this down. I'm gonna get messy. And yeah, I'm gonna skip a page, I think, for food stuff. And we'll do a page for game stuff. Lay this down here and see how far it goes. We might need to use some tape. But the next stop on our trip was Essenhaus, which is a German restaurant, German style restaurant in Madison. It worked out that it was right across the street from Monona. Is that how it's pronounced? Monona Terrace, wherever the convention was being held. So we were able to just kind of like use the hotel convention parking and then walk over. Okay, this is not going quite how we would like. That's okay, we'll just reglue it. I don't know if y'all know, I'm a huge fan of German food. That was like that was my one extra pick for the trip where I was like, ooh, I really want to check this out. A friend of mine, their coworkers highly recommended it. He travels a lot for work, so I figured if he was recommending it, then that was the place to be. The food was spectacular. It was super cozy. There was a lot of food too, like the amount of food that we got brought. We got an appetizer and 2 entrees and dessert, and it was just a crazy amount of food for 2 people, but it was all super delicious. Yeah, we ended up not even really going and eating anywhere else crazy, because it was just like, wow, well, this was like more than enough food, and then we had plenty of leftovers, which was nice. See if we can get this to stick down here. Hey, you made it, and it's not the last minute this time. Told you we'd get it next time. But yeah, this is the menu from Essenhaus. They didn't have any like take-home ones, but I asked and they just gave me one of the ones that they hand out. So we ended up getting the Metrorunner, which is that like large on the sauerkraut bed that came out on like the cutting board, and then we ended up getting for the specialties. Well, I did get the Bremen bratwurst, which was like the one that came in the bun, and then we also got Jaeger schnitzel, which had it was like that fried one with the mushrooms on top. And then we did for sure get some dessert, some strudel, which was really good. And also makes me very excited for Christkindl March coming up here shortly. In fact, probably any weekend now we'll be going. But yeah, so that was really good. Oh, and I forgot to mention that prior to stopping at the con, we went all the way up to, where did it go? Liv's Drink Emporium, up in like northern Madison. I don't know if it was technically like more towards Sun Prairie, if it was even in Madison for sure, but there was a recommended drink, coffee drink, a peanut butter cold brew, which I will be honest and say I'm not a big coffee person, disclaimer, but I did not find it very palatable. However, my partner, who was the one who wanted it, loved it. So that was worth it. But I was like, oh gosh, what is this texture? What is this flavor? I don't know, man. That ain't it. Peanut butter cold brew? Sure. It was definitely something though, for sure. That was recommended to us by a friend of ours. Okay, good. But yeah, that was quite the experience. Really cozy little shop. And then, so after we went to Essen House, we went back to Protospiel, and we got to play, was it just the 2 more games that evening, I think? Hard to keep track because usually I log everything in BG stats. 3 games, sorry. Usually I log everything in BG stats, but a lot of the games, since they are in various stages of development, aren't necessarily on Board Game Geek yet. So the next game that we played was, which I have here, we'll add it, Sylvan Tactics. It was a really interesting 2-player game that utilizes like chess pieces and chess mechanics. And basically you have energy, which you tap kind of like in Magic and different like spells and things, and then your unique units are assigned to chess pieces. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Oh, why did I open a new glue stick? Let's put that away. I enjoyed it pretty thoroughly. It was definitely one of the games too that's very well into the production stage of things. So it was like fully playable. We ended up playing a full match, my partner and I believe the designer's name was Tyler. Was super awesome, and you know, teaching and giving, you know, talking about it after the fact, getting some feedback, talking about like what the plans are for kickstarting it. So yeah, it was a really fun experience. That was, again, the game was like pretty much near done. There was some art that's being worked on. It probably won't be launching for a while. It sounds like they want to get a really good handle on making sure everything's good to go before they launch, which I have total respect for. So yeah. And there may be some print and play versions of that one available too, if and when it hits. So that's one I'll be keeping an eye out for sure. And I know my partner was like, we need this game. So we'll definitely be getting that when that drops. But yeah, and even just the art is really gorgeous. So the other thing that I appreciated was that it's minimal components, so you like use your own chessboard versus having to buy a whole huge box. It's really just the cards that you get, and then you can use it with whatever boards you desire. So it's not. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. All right, map is done. So now we can put on some of these other things. Let's see. Give me a moment to get my bearings here. I think I want a badge somewhere. I also have our bingo sheet. So one of the things they did was Mad Bingo. So based on like mechanics or themes and things, you can have designers sign off when you play some of their games. And then you get this nifty bingo sheet, which is really cute. And then you can trade in your bingo sheet for a prize, which we ended up getting a copy of Metrorunner and Dawn of Kulos from Thunderworks Games, who were sponsoring the events. Let's see. I think I want my bingo card down first, and then I'm gonna put this like over top. I don't want to cover up some of these games that we got to play. Maybe I'll put the emotional support ribbon up here or something. I don't know. I think I'm gonna cut this too so that it doesn't take up quite as much space. But speaking of those games, the next prototype that we got to try, so I saw, you know, somebody just sitting in the corner by themselves, a couple cards spread out, looked like multi-use cards, and I was like, hey, I'm interested in whatever that is. So asked if, you know, they were looking for play testers and things like that. And they were like, well, this is kind of like an old design that I just brought out. I want to see if it even functions. I played a couple rounds, seems okay. I don't know. Turns out it was the designer of Metrorunner. And again, like I said on the unboxing stream, this is so bad. Is it Steven or Stefan? If it's a PH, I do not know. Somebody please help me. I don't know how names are pronounced. But they were super gracious in showing us this like maybe quasi card game version of Metrorunner that they were toying around with, very puzzly in nature, which was really cool, and it was card based, which I love. So those multi-use cards were just, yeah. Let's see. This might just have to go in here like this. It might be difficult to separate. The reason why I'm separating these out, by the way, is as you can see, like it gets really thick really fast. So making each layer as thin as possible is the ideal scenario here. But yeah, no idea whether or not, you know, that will be a thing, but it was really cool to see like a condensed down version of a larger game. Which was, yeah, I think we're just gonna have to put this in here as is. To see a condensed down version of the larger game and how you can like take some of the similar elements and put them together. I'm gonna cut this so it fits. Maybe we'll put this in here like this, I think. Yeah, that seems about right. And where's that ribbon? Will this fit here then? Hopefully. Okay, that looks good. So I'm gonna bend this a little bit and get that in the corner. So that was super fun. And then after that, we got roped into the craziest game that we played all weekend, which was we had someone approach us and say like, hey, I've got this game. It's like a party game. Are you interested in trying party games? And we said, yeah, sure, why not? What's it about? He goes, okay, well, before we play, I do have to ask a couple questions. Are you 18 or older? Yes. Are you okay with mature themes? Yes. And then there was one more question that I don't remember, but we were like, yes. So this was, as you may have seen in the vlog video, the placeholder title of Gay Hookup Game. As soon as I saw the art and the theme and stuff, I was like, oh yes. So it was all about sending like pics to prospective dates. And you were collecting like dating profiles to go on dates with them, but there was like a social aspect too where you could like do like kind of like true or false, two truths and a lie kinds of things and get to know people that you were playing with. It was really fun. I think definitely, you know, since it was prototypes and things to work out with balance and mechanics and certain types of cards and take that elements, but I had a blast playing it. And the theme was just so fun and fresh, and the art and just like, I can't think of a person I know who wouldn't be down to give this a whirl. Like gay, straight, anybody. It was just super, super fun. And it was like a great getting to know you style party game, which was pretty nice. All right, so that's in there. Let's see, what can we do with this ribbon? I'm gonna use tape. So that was really fun. And that's where we ended our night. our hotel had a pool, which I was really excited about, and the pool was open till midnight, so I was really hoping we could get some like night swimming in, but there were some youngins in the pool until late, so I was like, I don't want to deal with that. We'll just we'll just head out and call it a night because it was already pretty late in the evening. More independent, I think, you know, it's hard for me to say because I didn't get to meet everybody and try a lot of games, but there were a lot of like, I would say it seemed as though there were a lot of like independent designers, but there was like a good mix of like pretty big name designers too. Like some of the publishers had like people from publishers there as well to like scout games or to just help run things and support. Like Gamecrafter was the main one who ran the events, but Thunderworks is a big supporter of the Madison Protospiel and some other ones too. And yeah, I'll get to, there was one designer there. Like I said, there's no photographic, video, anything evidence of this happening, so maybe it was just a dream, but I'll talk about that experience at the very end of the convention. I want to cut out this little very good here too. So yeah, there was all that, and then do I want to make it a square or a circle? I think a circle would be good. Oops, I cannot cut a circle. You know how hard it is to draw a circle? Have you ever tried cutting a circle? Even more challenging than one might think. Yeah, that was the end of our night one, which was a great way to end the night. And okay, and maybe I'm gonna start thing. All right, there we go. Very good. I'll put that somewhere. I'm gonna put like maybe another Mad Bingo down here. Let's see if we can make kind of do. That's fine. I can put stuff over top of it. That was day one. Day two, we ended up going to the farmers market, which I was very excited for. As it turns out, I had thought that the farmers market would not be happening. I should have put the ribbon under. Whoops. Because on it was like the Dane County Farmers Market or what have you. It said that it's year round, but when I looked on the website, the last weekend for the outdoors farmers market was last weekend. And I thought, oh, bummer, where's the indoor one? But all the resources that I found for the indoor one said that it started back up in January in some building. And I was like, well, that sucks. I'm not coming back in January. I'm here now. But when we were getting to the convention, there was somebody asking about the farmers market to the receptionist at the desk, and they told them that it was actually in that building from November through December. So we got up, I wouldn't say bright and early, we got up bright and early for breakfast, and then we checked out of the hotel, headed to the farmers market. We got some bread from Stella's, got some beef sticks. Doesn't get stuck in there. Got some bread, got some beef sticks. I got some maple candy, which was really delicious and yummy. Okay, that's looking better. Is it cricket? I can't tell. And then yeah, and then we went back to the convention. We weren't planning on staying a whole long time on that second day, just because our weekend time was a little bit limited. What can I put over here? Maybe I'll cut out some things from the Thunderworks Games catalog. Let's see. Metrorunner, duh. Okay, we're definitely using some of that. Rip this out or just cut it? I don't know. Let's do this. and take out the staples. So we got commandeered into a game called gosh, I can't remember the name. It's based around Greek city, I believe. But the designers, Mysticky and Adam, were so awesome. In the blog video, it's the one with all the cards and tiles with stars, and basically like the concept was that you are unearthing artifacts as you build skyscrapers. So it's like the construction companies are unearthing these artifacts, and then you can turn those in for other bonuses of like tiles to build or things that can score, and the artifacts themselves also potentially score. So it's like two set drafting where you're drafting like a building tile to add to your building, but then also those artifacts as well. And that was really fun. We got to do a full playthrough of it as well, and I thoroughly enjoyed the puzzly nature of it. And then after that, we got to do a playthrough of, oh gosh, my memory is so bad for names of things. I'm so sorry. Got some cards. The vegetable game, which was like a trick-taking anti-card shedding game where you could combine cards together in order to complete tricks, and then the highest total value would win. So you didn't have to follow suit necessarily, but you could combine cards of the same vegetable type or of complementary colors. And that game was really cool because the cards served as a dual purpose of like you can play the game with them, obviously, but then they're also used for like childhood early learning and development, which I thought was nice, you know, being a former teacher. And the game was really fun. Like you could definitely play it as a quick party game, but you could also play it as a more in-depth, like very strategic trick-taking style game as well. Let me actually look up the name of it because my brain is just because I have our scores on there. Oh, Amathus was the Greek file drafting one, and then I didn't write down the name. Are you kidding me? Hold on a second. Ooh. Where is? Oh, I have it on my PC. Let's take a quick peek. The card game was called. Where did it go? It's not the name of the game, by the way. Just looking at all of these photos and videos they took. Complementary Produce. There we go. I knew it started with a C, but I couldn't remember exactly. So Complementary Produce. Super fun. Very excited. That one was almost like good to go as well and done. As far as like production and everything goes. So that one I think will be on Kickstarter sometime soon. I have to double check and see. But it's definitely one, like, you know, my game groups get into these kicks of where we just play like all the trick-taking games in the world or all the card shedding games in the world. And so I think this one would be like a really fun one to play with them and introduce. And I have to say, freaking shout out, the rules were so well written. And y'all know me, I'm a stickler for like rules and rule books and stuff. Again, former teacher. It was I told my partner after, I'm like, I think it was two twins who designed the game. And I'm like, one or both of them must be teachers because this was like one of the best written rule books I've seen in a long while. It was just like all the things were so good. So that was really nice. And then after that, we actually got commandeered to play, test a new potential mini expansion for Metrorunner by Steven Steppen himself. I don't know. So yeah, that was super cool. Especially because we completed our bingo and picked up a copy of Metrorunner, and I was like, cool, another game to learn. But then because we were able to test out the mini expansion, we got to teach from the designer and also got to sneak peek potential new content and got to play. We played about halfway through the game. And it was super fun. Love it. Very excited to play it probably this Thursday at game night, I would imagine, since it plays to 5 and we're gonna have 5 people. So that was very cool and fun. And this is the big thing. This is the last thing. So, before we were gonna head out, because we planned on, again, not staying super long on Saturday. We were just gonna be there for a little bit of time. But there was one thing I knew I had to do before we left. And when we were leaving the farmer's market, I saw somebody and I was like, semi-panic attack. For context, I used to have crippling social anxiety, but I have since gotten over most of it in my old age. However, I think, to use my partner's words, they said, well, it's nice to see that you're human like the rest of us, based on my reaction. So I turned to my partner as we were walking out of the farmer's market, and these 3 folks walked by us, and I said, bro, I think that's King Clanko. And if y'all don't know who Clanko is, shame on you. Go back and watch videos. One of my favorite designers of all time has designed some of my favorite games of all time. And I was pretty excited. It seemed as though they were there on serious designing business, like a group of designers in the corner taking notes, scribbling stuff down. So I felt a little awkward about going over and interrupting, but I thought, we're probably going to head out after. There have been multiple times at conventions where I missed my opportunity to say hi to someone or say bye to someone or check in with someone because, people are just coming and going, having a good time. So I didn't want to miss an opportunity to go make an introduction and say hey and say thanks, for all the amazing games and just honestly, genuinely, I made a video on Flatline a long time ago. It was one of the first solo party videos I did on the channel, I feel like, years and years and years ago. And it's a game that we still play all the time to this day. We played it 2 weeks ago at game night, which, if y'all know how many different games I usually play and how bad my ADHD is when it comes to that, that's crazy to have a game played that frequently in my collection. And everybody I know that I show it to falls in love with it and immediately is like, can I get this? Can I buy it? Oftentimes it might be challenging because it's out of print, but we figure it out. Yeah, so I was just I just feel like I need to go say hi, because I know that he's commented on videos, he's seen the Flatline video. I also made a Simp City video just gushing about how much I love all of his games. He commented on that, and I've talked in other streams about how much I love flip ships and just other related things. It does not come up infrequently on the channel, we'll say that. So I'm yeah, just don't be a weirdo, just go over and say hi. Total weirdo. I feel like I blacked out. I'm I don't know what I'm saying or what I'm doing. But it's fine. Yeah, so just stop by to say hi before we headed out. But while we were playing Metrorunner, to get back to that, Kane did come over and you know, talked about a new potential like re-implementation of some previous games he'd released that he had brought a prototype of, and it kind of felt like, oh, we were planning on heading out, so I didn't know if we were going to stick around or if timing would work out. But turns out it did work out, and my partner and I got a private demo slash teach slash playthrough of new re-implementation of some of my favorite games of all time. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't know how much of it's like hush hush. I don't want to spill any industry secrets here, y'all. But can I just say it was such a blast. And I already have like, I don't like being tied up in my phone when I'm out places. I don't like imposing on people. Like, there was part of me that for all the vlog shots thought, oh, it'd be so nice to get little snippets of designers or like the faces behind the games. But I really genuinely do not want to impose on anybody, especially as a person who's very, you know, despite now having social media, prior to that and even now just in my personal life, I'm like, don't take a picture of me, like no paparazzi, like we don't want to do anything with any of that. So I always just feel like I'm overly conscientious about that, or probably there are people who for sure care, right? But then like there are a lot of people who just know that there's a chance that their likeness will be online somewhere in some capacity if they're at certain places. But I just really did not want to impose on anybody. And so, yeah, what am I doing with these? I don't even know. I cut them out and then I don't know where they're going. Maybe this will go here. Maybe this will go here. I have some cards here. Maybe up in the corner. I don't want to like cover up any of the games that we played though. Maybe this can go here instead. These can go here or something else. I kind of like the Lake Monona in the bottom corner though. Maybe we'll leave that because that is the convention center that we were at. Yeah, I think this is what we'll do. But yeah, I mean, like the whole time I was trying to get little snippets of videos of games so that I could put them together in the quick little like visual vlog to show y'all what some of these games look like and just give like the vibe of the weekend overall. But for this teach and playthrough from Kane, I really did not, I'm gonna be honest, I did not give a fuck. I was like, I'm here for me, this is great, like y'all can suck it. I'm just kidding, I love you guys are the best. But yeah, it was definitely a poignant thought in my mind of like, I don't want to take out my phone for this. I just want to be here and I just want to like hang out and play the game and just be fully present as possible while I'm like internally having a panic attack because I don't know, anxiety. But yeah, it was so fun and I'm really excited if and when this particular game does become a thing that hits the market, because like I said, some of my all-time favorite games, and yeah, just the more people that can play and experience them, the better. I'm gonna make a little tape here for tape. I've come to learn that putting tape in the corner is really important. I didn't do that on my first couple spreads, and then it would like pop up where the fold was. So we definitely learned a lot with this junk journaling process. So yeah, that was a big highlight of the weekend. I mean, all of it was great, but like that was unexpectedly just wonderful and amazing. Oh, that's a big glob of glue. So yeah, that was just spectacular. Looks like I can put something here. Maybe I'll put the little hotel logo. Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much it for Protospiel. We headed home. We went home after that. And drive home was pretty all right. About 2.5 hours, not too bad. This little guy, I don't think I need the rest of it. What else do we have? Playtester badge will have to go on the next page. Ooh, we can maybe do like a little list in the corner. I like that. Yes. Just cutting this out. this out. Like a little that on it. Yeah, them in the bottom corner somewhere. It was overall just a great weekend, and some general thoughts, like I said in the end of the vlog video. I don't know, and this will probably start getting into some of the like channel updates / just checking in with y'all. I I used to go to a lot of local conventions and enjoy them a lot. I used to go to a lot of like local game store events and enjoy them a lot. I used to post a lot more and enjoyed it a lot. But as y'all have probably noticed, this past year and maybe like year and a half, I don't know how long it's been, has been a little challenging with regard to all of that. Some of that is just like personal life stuff that has taken a precedent in terms of like making content takes a lot of time, especially when you're the only person running it. Like, I don't have a team. I don't have someone making thumbnails for me. I don't have somebody editing my videos. I don't have other people recording videos during weeks when I'm busy. It's like, if I can do it all, great. And if I can't, then it's not getting done. It's just not happening, right? And that makes it pretty challenging to be consistent with uploading content, especially when my personal life, with my like career and medical situation and just like other things, social things has been very up and down these past years. So it's, you know, an unfortunate circumstance that the channel has had to, or creating content, or even just like playing games and having time for that, has had to take a back seat to, you know, being able to like have a job, be healthy, stay sane, which are all challenging under normal circumstances. But then when you're dealing with other stuff, it's just like, you know, things like hobbies, or passion projects. These things kind of tend to fall by the wayside. And not to say that, like, you know, oh boo-hoo me. Obviously there's some other things that, you know, despite that, like, I could choose to focus more time and effort or change up the format for like things on the channel and what have you. But I think part of that, and I'll get into that a little bit more, but the other part of that is just like with the state of where board games are at right now. I don't know, there was a lot of like disillusionment with the hobby for me, I think. The last couple of conventions that I went to that were like local conventions, there was a lot of stuff that I'm like, man, I don't know, I don't agree with that. It doesn't feel the same as it used to. Like the amount of games, the types of games, some of the focus of like big Kickstarters and like all of the duo this, dice game that, cooperative version this, mini version this, and I'm just like, man, what the fuck are we doing here? Really? Which, you know, like, I know that like it's an industry, it's a business, people need to make money. Well aware of that, but at the same time, it's like, as a consumer, as a person who's here for like the love of the hobby, like, what are we doing? You know, at a certain point, it just feels like nonsense. There's a freaking Catan movie coming out. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Sometimes I just see things in board game news and I'm like, is this real life? Like, what is happening? I don't know. It's just wild to me. And there's part of me that there are so many cool things happening. And I'm like, yes, this is awesome. I'm so excited. And there's part of me that just looks at all of it. And I'm like, why the am I in this hobby? Like, what is this? I just don't know anymore. Sometimes or conversations that I hear, or like, you know, things that people say in passing, I don't know. it gets to a point where it becomes very frustrating or alienating, or very just like, you take a step back and you look at the big picture, and it's just, I don't know. In some ways concerning, and in some ways I'm like, maybe it's just not for me. I don't know. Maybe we've kind of like outgrown or out served our like purpose here. Like, I don't know. I'm not into super big Kickstarter campaign types games. I'm not into like overproduced whatever. And again, there's like no harm, no foul, no bad will, ill will towards anybody who is. It's just so different from the things that I enjoy. And when you see enough of that, or like just like, again, the multiple iterations of different games where it's just like, bro, how many Azuls do we really need? Like, can we just, how many? How much Azul is too much Azul? I don't know. It just kind of freaks me out a little bit. Some of the directions things are going, and some of like the behind the scenes things, like publishers being super shady, reviewers being super shady and scummy, like just, again, it's not any one person or place or thing. It's just the whole kind of like ecosystem and how it exists, and just noticing like, oh yeah, this is, I don't know if it's that things are shifting, or that it's just that I have seen and heard, and like being in the hobby for a bit, like am more privy to knowing about certain things. I don't know. Does this fit here? Do this. I'm trying to see if I can put it up in the top. I think I'll save this for a new page. These little mountain guys though, put that on the next page too, I think. Is there anything on here I want to include? But yeah, sorry, getting off on two tangents, but going back to that, oh hey, yeah, absolutely. Let me know if she has any tips for me, because this is the end of this junk journal I'm going to be finishing up. I don't know if I'll finish the whole thing on stream, but I'm almost done with it, so I'll be finishing this week for sure. So if she has tips on starting a new junk journal, I kind of want to like repurpose an old calendar or something like that. Yeah. But thanks for joining. But as I was saying, going to this convention, meeting designers, meeting like independent designers, meeting some bigger name designers too, talking with folks from publishing companies, like it just, I think it helps refresh a lot of stuff for me and revalidate a lot of things for me in terms of like, oh yeah, these are people behind these designs. These are like, you know, it's not just all about making money, which again, I'm not against publishers and companies and designers making money, right? But like there's a certain level of like focus and intention with some of the directions that board gaming is going in certain spheres that just like, I'll be honest, feels pretty icky sometimes. This up here. So yeah, junk journal. I'm gonna do a full flip through at the end of whenever we wrap up here too. Maybe we'll see if I remember. My ADHD is on high this morning. But yeah, just I don't know. It felt like a really I think there were like 200 some people at Protospiel on Saturday, but it just felt like each table was just this nice, concise, intimate experience. Everybody was just, I mean, with the exception of one person who was kind of surly on Friday. I don't know who or what they were there doing, but everybody else was so accommodating and so welcoming. And you could tell that there was just so much passion for gaming, for game design. Like people genuinely just wanted the best for their games and the best for their like fellow designers, and it was just really wholesome and really great. And I love that people were really wanting like critical feedback about their games, because that is a big thing that I will say in terms of like the channel and where things are at. So I guess this is a good pivoting point in topics officially, but along with some of the trends with gaming, board gaming, and like, I don't know, just content creation. For those of y'all who have been around, you already know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I had zero social media before I posted about games. And I still have zero personal social media. The only other account that I have in addition to like board game account things is I made an Instagram page a while ago during the pandemic for like arts types of things because I was like illustrating and developing and like making a lot of like stickers and like custom cards and things. So that was, but again, that wasn't like personal. That was more of like to share that hobby specifically, not so much about me. Just trimming the edges here to see what we're working with. So yeah, like I am not a big social media person at my core, but I started the channel because I thought, you know, there are so many cool games that like I just wish, like I tell people about these games, I show people these games, we play these games, and people just, it makes their whole freaking day, week, month, year. Like there's no better feeling than showing somebody a game and immediately they are looking for where they can purchase it and, you know, excited to say like, oh my god, I can't wait to show this to like my game group, I can't wait to show this to my kid, I can't wait, blah blah blah. Like it's just so fun, and there are so many amazing games, especially for people who are like newer to the hobby or who have a very like entryway into the hobby. And there are a lot of really fun, great gateway games, don't get me wrong, but like to put it as was best told to me, is that real English? I don't know, but like there is so much to explore and so much creativity and inspiration and innovation in board gaming that it's like it feels like a disservice to the hobby and to the people in it to just like settle for gateway when there is a fairly high barrier of entry for some spaces, right? But like a friend said to me once that, you know, like it's a gateway, you're supposed to walk through it, not freaking stand in it. And I couldn't agree more. And anybody who's like been comfortable and happy at that gateway kind of place, good, great. But like I feel like a lot of people would get even more enjoyment out of the hobby and more like, you know, passion for the hobby if they were to just take a little step further, right? And so that's what I kind of wanted to help people do by creating a blog, by creating an Instagram account, by creating, I mean, fuck Twitter. I hated Twitter for the like 2 days I was on it, but by creating a YouTube channel and by like, you know, making a Discord community, it's like just helping folks out and helping folks connect with other folks that can help them through that doorway into discovering what it is about the hobby that they really like. And as y'all know, I don't have any hangups about the types of games that people like or what things like. I have spoken all day, every day about how I'm not into big FOMO, Kickstarter, whatever. But some people are. Some people that makes them so happy. And like my partner is a great example. We walked into Noble Night and like the first box we picked up was this giant Dragon Eclipse like co-op campaign story thing. I'm like, bro, I don't even know. And it's funny because while we were at Protospiel, you know, people were like saying like, oh yeah, do you play a lot of games too? Like, what's that like? And I'm like, honestly, looking at the amount of time spent playing games, my partner probably spends as much, if not maybe a little bit more time playing games. Because for me, it's like I like quick seeing what's out there, and for him, he gets so invested in like big chunky story games. Like they did a multi-hour session of Earthborn Rangers the other day, and then immediately played like a 5-hour session of the new Gloomhaven reboot. And I'm like sitting there thinking, my god, for me personally, that sounds like a living hell. I can't imagine doing that, but I can imagine playing all these variety games, right? It's just like a different perspective and like what you get out of a hobby. And I don't care what it is that people want to get out of the hobby or what they enjoy. I just want them to be able to know what the options are, right? And with the way that like board games are marketed and the way that like social media around board games works, it often does not really facilitate that in some of the most direct, open, accessible ways. Yeah, I do really love solo games. I mean, there are quite a few channels dedicated to it. And I have to say that of all the like people that I've met, people who are there like doing solo content about solo games, those are my homies. Like y'all know, Danny Denisha, great, amazing person, so cool, makes great content. Like we've become pen pals just like offline as well. And you know, it's like I've gotten to talk with some of these people, and it's like some of us are all on the same page, but a large majority of what's happening online and on social media and you know in the industry, it's just like, man, I don't know, that ain't it. There's some shady stuff going on. There are only so many times that like, and I just don't even engage mostly now. I think when I first started out, I was like, maybe I want to like hang out with other people who make board game content. Maybe we ought to collab. Maybe you ought to do this. And to be fair, all the people that I have made video content with, like Mackenzie or Table Knots or Colin over on Instagram, like all amazing people. This is not about them. But there were a lot of people that I met in the space that it was like very clear. It's just like kind of disgusting where I'm like, you're just blatantly admitting that you don't play the games you get sent and that you're just there to get free games. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, I guess, if you just want the free games, but like don't freaking lie to people about it. And like, I don't know, just some gross behavior. Where I'm like, okay, I clearly can see what you're about, and I don't know. It wouldn't piss me off as much if it didn't make it more challenging for the rest of us. Because I think like, too, just from an outside perspective, and this is where I really get too much into my head about making content, where I'm like, okay, now that the channel is, you know, sponsored and that Button Shy has been so supportive, other companies, designers have been so supportive. Friggin' Mike just offered to send a copy of Crownfell, which by the way, go check it out on the Game Crafter. There's a crowd sale right now, and it is so well priced for how amazing of a game it looks. Like I don't know. I worry that how that looks to an outside perspective. Because again, those of y'all who have been here since day one, or you know, since the early times, know that this was just a passion project for me. This was not like me going out and being like, oh man, I wonder how many publishers I can swindle into sending me crappy games. Like, I don't know. That's the other thing. It's like, man, okay, if a game is free, that's great, but like if the game sucks, why would you want it? And there are some people that are just like, give me all the games. I don't care if it's up my alley. I don't care if it's good or bad. I just want free games. So I'm like, guys, come on. What are we doing here? But yeah, I just worry because, you know, like I never wanted this to become a job or a business or be anything other than just, oh, I love games. But because the channel has grown to the size that it is, you know, not that it's like super massive or anything, but because we have a community, it's like there are opportunities where we can continue to hopefully get more exposure to games. I'm glad you've picked up a few games that you've seen here. Like I've learned about new games too because of the channel. So yeah, it's just like, I don't know, there's so much out there that like if it was just me on my own as a person in the hobby, there's no way that I could get to all of it or cover all of it or know about all of it or afford all of it. So like taking on like a sponsorship from Noble Knight, accepting review copies from the few publishers and designers that I do end up saying yes to, because by the way, I don't know if this is apparent or comes through, but there are so many, and not always that I want to say no to, but there are so many offers for this game, that game, prototype, like preview copy, etc. I think this is good for now on this one. There are so many opportunities for that I do turn down, by the way. I'm pretty picky about accepting any sorts of review content, blah, 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 etc. Because again, from my perspective, I'm like, if I want a game, I'll buy it, right? Like I will budget for it. We have a channel sponsor. It's not impossible for me to get. I would rather make content about games that I really believe in versus just accepting whatever and then like, you know, saying 2 nice words about it and then being like, okay, free game, great. It takes time to make videos. It takes time to make content. I actually give a shit. It's not a cakewalk. It takes hours and hours, even for like a quick little tutorial video, whatever. It is an investment, and I would rather spend that time well for me, playing games I like, reviewing games I like, and I don't want to waste y'all's time with games that would not be interesting to the community. There have even been games that, you know, people have reached out and said like, hey, would you be interested in this game? And I think like, you know, I would be interested in checking it out. And there might be a couple people, but it doesn't feel like a good fit for our community. So maybe no, and I'll come back to it on my own. And if, you know, that happens later and I have to pay for a copy, I would rather do that than just like commit to a bunch of hoopla and just be like, let's see what sticks. I don't know. Maybe I'm making it harder on myself, but that's kind of the approach that I've been trying to take. And it just, I don't know, it makes it somewhat challenging because there are limitations with that. I gotta figure out what I'm doing over here. In terms of like the amount of time that I have to put together content and accessibility to stuff, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that comes across. I don't know if that is that. I don't know if people just kind of are assume one thing about the content or the channel based on like where things are at, and I think that gives me a lot of personal hangups because I'm like, I don't like that. I don't want to be perceived as that or put that out there. And I guess sometimes I probably over worry or have some anxiety about like, okay, but like, what does this look like to everyone else? And like, you know, what kinds of content is the kind of content there's like, you know, there are a couple different avenues. When I first started out, it's like the kinds of content I want to make versus like what the algorithm likes and what the internet likes and what YouTube likes. And I was like, you know what? I don't give a crap about what YouTube likes and what the algorithm likes. I want to make the stuff I want to make. But now there's also, you know, considering like, I don't put as much weight into it, but there is the consideration of like publishers, designers, and companies, right? There's that consideration. But then the biggest consideration now too for me is like, but what does the community like? And coming back into that in a second, there are a couple of like thoughts that I have about that. But going back to like publishers and companies, you know, I just have to say from like the bottom of my heart, I would not accept money or games from people or companies that I did not like truly as a person and as a customer believe in. Like I said, the fact that Noble Knight sponsors the channel, hallelujah, because if anybody else had asked, if Miniature Market had asked, I would have been like, you know what, that is a piggy bank, that is a way to get plenty of games. Screw Miniature Market and all their BS. Like, there's been so much crap that happened with them that I'm like, I would never. I've had other bigger name companies reach out about sending very expensive big games, and I've said like, you know what, I don't like you and I don't want to drag you through the mud publicly or your game, so we're just gonna leave it at that, and I will say no thank you. Like, I don't want to even deal with it. So the fact that like Noble Knight reached out about sponsoring the channel, that I was a customer of theirs, and the best part is too, you know what, like, I'm not required to make any specific videos for them. They just said, we love what you're doing, we want you to keep doing what you're doing, and we want to support you to make sure you can keep doing it. Whatever you feel is relevant that you can shout us out in or throw in like, you know, something from our media kit. We don't want you to change what you're doing. We don't want you to do more work. We just want to help you do what it is that you've already been doing. And I was like, wow, that is so like, what? Really? that's amazing. And you know, when Button Shy reached out about partnering together for a lot of like reviews and previews too, that was the same kind of thing. They're like, we just want you to enjoy our games, and if you like them enough to make content about them, great. And if you don't, no hard feelings. Like, I have sat here in burn videos and like, you know, given criticisms or my thoughts about some of the games from them that have been disappointing, and they are so supportive, you know, like they're genuinely like, oh, okay, that didn't work for you. Like when I talked about Skulls with Sedlake and how I'm like, you know, I don't know, it's not my favorite, everybody likes it, you should check it out, but it wasn't for me. They reached out and they were like, well, do you want to try more expansions and see if that changes your mind, or like and it's not like they got butt hurt and we're like, oh gosh, she doesn't like one of our games, we're never sending her crap again because she was honest. Like, just, I don't know. It's very clear to me that, you know, some of these places and some of these companies are very much in it for the same reasons, right? Which is like understanding that everybody's going to have different tastes, everybody's going to have a different perspective, and they're just there to try to like help people have a good time with their games. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. And a lot of like the designers that have reached out, you know, not to say that some of the games that I've turned down have been out of me being like, oh, I don't think that would be good, or this or that, or blah, blah, blah. Like there have been quite a few times that even just recently, Jason's reached out about some new games that they're releasing this month. And I'm like, bro, this looks amazing. I'll probably back it for myself, but like, you don't need to send me a copy because I just know I don't have time to make a video this month. Like, it's already crazy. Sometimes it's just my own personal limitations, right? Or availability. And like, I definitely want to do, you know, do everyone justice if I'm gonna put the time and effort into making a video. And if I don't have the time and effort, then I gotta be honest with myself and with other people about where I'm at. Sometimes it just doesn't work out timing wise, but yeah, there's a lot that for intentional reasons or for, you know, other reasons that we don't really just, it's not a garbage disposal here like it is some other places, I think. Like we're pretty picky about, there's only so much time, unfortunately, and I want to make sure I'm using it in the best way I know possible, and that I'm not wasting my time or publisher's time or designer's time or your time. But inevitably that does lead to some hangups with making content and just kind of some of the mental headspace of things as well. And that kind of gets into too, I have I've been going back and forth because, as some of you may know, on the channel we had a series called like Disappointing Games, where I would talk about games that didn't live up to my expectations, and then I would give recommendations for other games you can play or try. And I have pages and pages and notes and full, like, written up, here's what you should play instead, like drafts of scripts of I have freaking PowerPoints, because at one point I'm like, maybe if I just stream it, it'll help me get over some of the anxiety of like recording and watching back and editing. And I know in my heart that that is the content that I want to make. And I know in my heart that a lot of our poor audience and y'all here, that's what you want to see. But it gets to a point where, like, you know, posting on social media is pretty tricky. Because at a certain point, you're just like doing whatever and nobody cares except for you and the people who really see eye to eye and get it and have proper context. And then it gets to a point where it's like, oh, there are quite a few more eyes on this. And every time I post, or I haven't in a while, but every time I would post videos like that or content like that, that's just a little bit more I don't want to say negative, but I think more critical. There are a lot of people who take it the wrong way and see it as very negative. Um, which, okay, if that's not what you're looking for, that's fine. It doesn't bother me, right? But it also hits a certain way. I don't know. Some of the comments or some of the um, like optics of how that looks, and I just wonder, like, well, these are the things that people are saying, but like, what are they thinking behind that they aren't saying? Or I don't know. I just get in my own head a lot about that kind of thing, and being that I'm by default as a person not a very super public, don't want all eyes on me. I just worry with like the types of content, how that looks and how that comes off. But at the same time, I very much realize that that has contributed to me posting less, because it's not that the videos that I'm still uploading and making aren't things that I want to post. It's just that like there's a whole wide range of other things I would love to do and talk about on the channel that I just feel very hesitant to like break open that box or reopen that box. And I know that I think I just have to kind of do it. But it's, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, because I also admit that, like, I'm not an industry professional. I am just a person who is enjoying the hobby, and I have limitations to the things that I know or the things that I'm privy to. I'm not a know-it-all, right? So, like, there are certain reactions that I have to certain things that I hear and see about board game news that I'm like, wow, I wish I could make content about that. But then I get kind of like, I end up talking myself out of it because I'm like, while I feel like this is important information, I don't know these people. I don't know that I have all the context. I'm not a professional. Why should I be a person to speak up about these things? But then I think like, but it would be so fun. I would love making that style of content. I would love to comment on some of these things and share some thoughts and some perspectives, fully acknowledging that, like, I don't have the whole picture or the whole story or know everything, even if I did, but it just gets to a really iffy place. And I think that there's like a lot of board game news and things, what have you, that are like moving forward, very progressive, and there are a lot of issues too with some of the things that have come up, and it's just like, I worry that like I should be saying or doing more. I think we could do this. I want something under here though. Ooh, I don't know what to put under. We'll figure that out. Yeah, and some of that gets into more personal topics, which again, I don't want the spotlight on me, but like there have been a lot of missteps with certain publishers when it comes to just like diversity or inclusion or different things like that. And it's like, wow, I have some thoughts on that, but like, I don't know. Hey, welcome from Slovakia. Oh man, the other day, I think I pulled out what time it was there. I can't do math at this particular moment. So good. I'll say evening. It's definitely sometime in the evening. And you're not too late. We're doing a whole thing. This is the first page that we did with our Mad Bingo sheet. Some cards and stuff from the hotel. Some of the games we played. And now I'm doing another board game based spread here. Yeah. But yeah, and then I also don't know if like that's content that people are interested in seeing, or that maybe it is stuff that they want to see, but it's not necessarily stuff that they want to see on the channel. And that gets into the whole like analytics, social media type of thing, because YouTube's been really weird lately. And a little backstory, I'm obsessed with YouTube. I was before I started creating content on the platform. Like most of my time, I always have it playing in the background. I have like content creators that I've followed for years. I stay pretty up to date on like YouTube news and like trends and things that are happening. And like one of the things, well, general thing, as y'all know, the internet has not been great for creating original content. It's because of the inundation of AI and how it's really kind of screwed with algorithms and that whole side of things. I need something for here. And that's been challenging, thinking like, you know, things are just inherently not doing as well, because there's been a flood of just everything and anything, right, in terms of different types of media, and just like oversaturation of oversaturation of like shorts, and like also focus on shorts, and like the lack of pushing for long form content or more in-depth content or more like thoughtful content. It's just like, I don't know, that gets really tricky. And it doesn't feel great when you're kind of like doing other stuff, and just because of the nature of what you're doing isn't as good. Like there have been issues with, you know, content not getting pushed out to subscribers. There are issues with like content not being put on people's homepage just because of the types of like content you're making. Ooh, have a fun game night. And then like even like with like comments getting deleted, right? Like sometimes I'll go and look and see a comment from someone show up, but when I go to interact or go to the video page, it's like gone. It's just poof, vanished. And it's like, man, that kind of sucks, because I would have loved to respond to that. And I don't want people to think that like I'm just over here deleting comments or ignoring people, because that's like the main thing about the hobby that I do enjoy, which is interacting with y'all. Like it's social media, right? It's not just about the media portion of things. Like I genuinely, that's the main currency. It's like I don't care so much about like the free games or, you know, the 2 cents of ad revenue. Like the main thing that I get out of posting is being able to interact with y'all and being able to hear your insights and forming those connections and getting to share about a hobby that I enjoy with a group of people who also love and enjoy and are passionate about that hobby. Like it's the number one reason why I have continued to make content and try to keep things up and running despite some of the personal hang-ups and some of the like bigger challenges with that. But like, I don't know, it sucks when you're trying to do that and then specific things of how things are happening on the back end impede that. Yeah, it's just like, and there's like so the other big thing, I don't know if y'all are aware, but with YouTube, there's been a big ongoing thing for years with like ad block. And like, oh, if you have ad blocks installed, then you can't watch videos. We're like taking you off the site. But actually this year in August, it's been pretty conclusively proven that something changed either on YouTube's end or on some of the like major ad blockers ends, where a lot of channels noticed a significant drop in views in August of this year. And after some investigating, it turns out that it is primarily only in desktop views, so not mobile. And because of like certain avenues of looking at things, they said, oh, we now notice, like before, if you have ad block installed, you know, and you're watching a video, that video doesn't get ad revenue, which makes sense. You're not watching the ads. They don't get their like 0.56 pennies from your view, which is okay. And most creators, myself included, I mean, I'm like, I'll be honest, I'm like, I would rather you enjoy the content. If you're not into ads, use an ad block. I don't care. Of course. If that's your preferred way of watching content, do it. Like, no hangups from me whatsoever. But before, it would still count towards your views and towards your metrics. Now, however, because of whatever random change has happened, desktop views, if you're viewing from a device that has ad block, no longer counted. So a lot of channels, especially ones who have desktop users, especially ones who have a user base that is more internet savvy, who would be using ad blocks, noticed really significant hits to their viewership or their numbers in August because of this change. And it's like, there's just so many little things like that that are going on in the background from that standpoint, where it's just like, like that doesn't, I don't know, that doesn't feel great. It makes it challenging when you already have like personal reservations and other life things going on, to then be like, well, like, I can't even see, you know, kind of like, I feel like I can't get a good read on what's going on, because like quantitatively things are all screwy, and qualitatively there's a lot of stuff that just goes missing or gets deleted, or like, I don't know, there's just weird stuff happening on top of all this like AI moderated stuff, and channels getting strikes and this and that, and it's like, brother, what are we doing here? And it just adds an extra level of frustration and confusion and like doubt to something that is already a challenging process and thing to engage with. I don't know, man. Like, very lucky to be in this position where I even get to consider, right? Where I even get to make that choice. But like, there are a lot of things that I'm just like, ugh, I don't know. Board game industry, the internet, like, who knows what's going on in some of these places these days. But yeah, I don't know. And yeah, I hope you got unbanned on Twitch, because that really sucks. Just so much craziness happening, and it just feels like nobody knows what's going on. Oh, we don't know. It's just something must have updated or this or that. It's like, come on, you're telling me you can't figure out how to like make sure that comments just don't disappear on the platform? People have been complaining about it for years. For years. What do you mean you can't figure it out? Don't you have Google money? Oops, this tape's out. I'm gonna go grab a new tape. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like, at times, it feels like we're like flying blind. Oh no. Yeah. I don't know. There's a bunch of like weird behavior too. Like, luckily, our community has been super great. Y'all are the best, but there's some gross internet behavior and some very not fun things. There have been very few things, fortunately, that have come up in terms of looking at like our community or like, you know, things happening there. But yeah. Ooh, it's rough out here, y'all. So I cannot get this to stick in the like corner. Or kind of off camera, but I'm trying my best to make this work, and it's not going so good. Uh-oh, and this is like not where it needs to be now. Oh no. Help. Help. Yeah, there's just like a lot of weird stuff going on these days. Online, offline. But yeah, and then when we talk about just like some of the personal stuff and like representation and things, like, I don't know, it gets really weird and iffy for me, because it's like I've lived my life, right? And this is when I was a teacher as well, this was a big thing where it's like there was a certain level of like advocacy and support for communities and for like individuals that I'm like, hell yeah, of course. But then there's also a level of stuff where it's like, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes it's not my place to say certain things or like speak about certain topics, or like partially because I'm like not an expert, and partially because I'm like, I've lived my life, I've kind of gotten to the place where I'm at, but then it gets to a point where I think, oh, but like maybe I should be more on top of that. Maybe I should be commenting on those things as a person who has dealt with some of those things. Maybe it would like help people for me to be more vocal about certain topics or what have you. I don't know. There have been some things too where I don't know. It's difficult for me to get into details without feeling like I'm calling people out, and I don't want to do that. But there have been like certain things that have come up just even dealing with other content creators, or like perceptions of stuff in general, where it's like I'm not super is this working? What's happening? I don't mind being authentically me, but I also don't want to like shove it in people's face, especially if that's not the point. It's like with board game content, I'm like, I want to keep it about games as much as possible, but inevitably there are going to be certain things that come up about me or about certain demographic type things or values or perspectives. And then it gets into this whole like idea of like social responsibility and like, what do you say? What do you keep private? What do you say publicly? How do you like be genuine and authentic and help people through stuff and start conversations without being like confrontational or like starting a witch hunt? I don't know. The internet's crazy, y'all. And it's just, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm doing a disservice to not be more forward facing when it comes to talking openly or being more more intentionally, I guess I should say, about those kinds of things. But then I also think like, I don't know why I got into this, but then I don't know. It's kind of tricky. It gets kind of tricky on it. Brought into Japan to be a victim of bullying. Oof, I sure hope not. Cause like, man, and the thing is like, I feel like as a person, I have pretty thick skin, but I'm also, like I said, I'm not big on like social media in general. So for me personally, if someone were to say something about me, I'd be like, bad. But also, I'm like, I also just don't want to deal with it, especially online and things like that. Like, I don't know. It's a weird balance to strike. Versus more background, a lot of the work that I did in like my graduate studies was about diversity and inclusion, and like some of the like socioeconomic implications of like different populations and things like that. Just talking about it, mostly focused on education and in music, but like talking about like achievement gaps or, you know, representation in different like music or music education. I was also formerly a musician, for those of you who didn't know. So like these topics came up all the time. It was something that I focused on in my studies. It was something that I dealt with every day at my old jobs, working for like school districts and in classrooms, and, you know, in the music industry. It's just like, it's impossible to get away from, because it's just the world that we live in and it's important. But there's also like a certain level of, I need to maintain my peace of mind as an individual. And at a certain point, I need to know when to draw the line, right? Ooh, Game Crafter card. I need to know when to be able to disengage and unplug and like have limits and healthy boundaries for myself. Some people just live their lives completely online and they'll say anything to anybody, and that's just not my default. But I also feel like at a certain point there are times where I look and I'm like, maybe I should have said something about that. Maybe I should have been more forward about that. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of things are changing in a very positive way. In a lot of different ways and, places around the world. Still a lot of work to be done though. Yeah. Even like, I don't know. I'll just probably say it because there's nowhere around it. And again, saying that it's not as like a boo-hoo me or as like a shame on these people, but a while back I was invited to make some content for like an overall like, top games, whatever, blah blah blah. And every year it felt like the group of people who was asked was very inclusive, like it was people from all around, of all different backgrounds. And so I thought, yeah, I would love to do that. That seems amazing. And then when the video came out, it became very apparent to me that they had included mostly only content creators that were like female presenting, which had someone told me like, hey, we want to feature female creators for this video, would you be interested in that? I would have had no qualms about it, and I would have thought about whether I wanted to be featured in that. But the fact that that was not advertised to me, and that I found out when everybody else did, after I had already given like my clip and like all that. Oh, thanks, Danny. Glad you could join for a bit. I'll be honest, in that moment, and again, not anybody specifically, mostly just the state of like, how did we get here? I was pissed. I sent some very charged voice messages and had some very charged conversations with friends about how that made me feel. Because, for those of y'all who don't know, I've mentioned this on the channel in passing, but my pronouns, she, her, whatever, I don't care. I got to a certain point in my life where I'm like, I've had so many people ask me questions about that or about my sexuality that like, I can't be bothered to get caught up in semantics. I think there's like an important line there where it's like, yeah, that is really important, but it like also kind of misses the bigger point, which is like, it's a stepping stone to what the bigger picture would hopefully be someday. I can't split this in half, so I guess I'm using the green side here. And it's just like, man, I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, I hated the idea of being like girly or a girl or whatever. In high school, I used to tell people that like, you can call me like any sort of swear word under the sun, but don't call me a female. That pisses me off. Like, I don't know. There's just, so I've definitely gone through a lot when it comes to thinking about how I see myself, and my gender and my sexuality. And it's like, oh man, I wish someone would have told me before just assuming that like, oh yeah, she'd be down to be in this video of just like a bunch of women talking about games. Like there was just a misstep in communication. Again, like I said, had they said that, there's a good chance I would have been like, you know what? I don't know, maybe, why not? Great opportunity, right? But that's not how it played out, and it was pretty unfortunate. Like stuff like that I'm like, at the time I wanted to react, I wanted to make a stream, I wanted to talk to the person about it. I'm like, this could be a great opportunity to just have a conversation and like publicly just, it's a good learning opportunity that came up naturally. Nobody is specifically to blame, but yeah. And I'll be honest, the person who asked, I have huge respect for them and their perspective on games in the world in general. And it's just like one of those things where it's like, you just don't know until you know. And that's why I feel sometimes like a pressure to be more public and speak up more about certain things. But again, there's also like that personal boundary where it's like, how much of that, I don't know. It's tricky to really kind of figure that line out as someone who is, again, not, I mean, technically, I guess at this point we're professional, but I'm not a professional by any stretch of the imagination when it comes to looking at, you know, content creation and things like that. So who knows? I don't know. Something I gotta figure out and think about. But that just, again, adds in a whole nother level to, do I make this video? Do I say that thing? Like, very classic overthinker by default, and putting a bunch of crap on the internet definitely exacerbates that. So, yeah. Oh, hey, have fun. Yeah, glad you could join us for some time here live. Okay, I kind of want to put this, but I kind of want just Saturday, Friday, since those were the days we were there, I think. Maybe we'll do that. Here? Ooh, that'd be cute. Need something else for under there. Ooh, maybe the very good sticker. I'll cut this one. But yeah, I do, as far as like things going forward goes, I do really want to make more disappointing games videos. And like I said, there's a certain level of like awareness and thinking about it where I'm like, oh yeah, I just need to make sure I'm in the right mental space and all this. But I think at the end of the day, I just kind of need to suck it up, quit overthinking, and just do stuff that makes me happy. Like, I've had these conversations too with friends where I'm like, gosh, this is such a cool opportunity. Like, I'm so grateful to be able to be in a time and place where people can like do things they're passionate about and talk about them and share them online, like making content, and talking about board games. Like, what a cool freaking thing to be able to do, and to have found a community and an audience, and, you know, just amazing people in the hobby that are as wonderful as y'all are. Wow, mind-blowing. Like, it makes me super emotional thinking about it. I'm gonna try to not cry on stream. I'm gonna scream. Maybe I need to put some washi tape on here. But yeah, it's like, what a cool opportunity. I would never want to lose that. But then there are times where I'm like, man, as a solo content creator, I just need a break. I just need some time away. And then, I don't know, that gets into other considerations. What am I doing with it? I need something else for keep. I don't want to use any of the food stuff. I want that to be a separate thing. Lake. Maybe we'll do that. Oh, these are cute. Maybe we'll cut those out. Yeah, we'll cut those out. Those are random people, though. I don't like that. Maybe I'll put something else in there. Okay. What was I saying? I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I would never want to lose out on the opportunity to make content, right? Like, if I never, like, I would never have gotten or had like the balls to go to Button Shy Con if the Button Shy folks weren't so accommodating. Like, I would never have been able to meet some of y'all and some of like people who have honestly become like beloved, close, near and dear to my heart friends and like acquaintances. Like meeting up with people at events, having people come out to visit for like mini conventions that I host. Like, there's just so much cool stuff. Having freaking Kane Klanko come over and offer to give us a private teach and demo of a new prototype he's working on. Like, hello, I would be stupid to say like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. Duh. Like, it's just insane. And I'm so grateful, but there are times where it's just like, man, I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out from making content. I'm burnt out from board games. I'm burnt out from life. But I don't want to step away from that because I don't want to miss out on those opportunities. And it's something that I am passionate about and that I love. But at times too, I'm like, do I just quit? Is this just it? Like, is this the last video? Do I just peace out silently? Do I even record a goodbye? Does anybody care? Like, That has honestly come up sometimes throughout this past year and a half, especially as I've been dealing with life stuff. And it's like, I don't know, that seems dumb. And I think it got to the point where I was like, you know what? If I'm sitting here overthinking, like, I know the things that would probably make me happy. And like, if I'm thinking about, like, if I'm grappling with the question of even thinking about quitting anyway, then why don't I just do whatever the fuck it is I want to do on the channel? If people don't like it, what's the worst that can happen? I quit? Okay, fine. So, yeah, pardon my French. I think that's kind of where we're at in terms of going forward. Like, I just want to make the videos that I love and that I feel strongly about, and if that steps on some people's toes, or people don't like it, or it's not what they were expecting, or it's like a shift from the regular content, or it's a shift back to other things that haven't been around for a while, okay. I don't know. I don't think that I'm a particular, it gets into some personal insecurities too, because I've had a lot of people over the years tell me that I'm like overly critical or negative at times. And I don't necessarily think that I'm a negative person. I think I'm a super positive person. But because of some of the way that I was raised and my personal beliefs and just the person that I am, I think that sometimes, I'm gonna put this in further actually. Sometimes people take criticism as negativity based on their own personal choices and upbringing and culture, and that's fine. But there's just more often than not for me, there's been a lot of disconnect in my personal life with that, and it seems like kind of online. A lot of like board game content that I've seen is definitely more like both hands kumbaya in nature, like, this is so great, we love it, which I'm not saying that I don't make that content too, right? Like, there are games that I'm like, man, I am I'm in a whole series, SimCity, about designers and games and publishers and things that I love in the hobby. But also, I like having some balance there. And I would like to share some more critical thoughts about games and about things that are happening in gaming, that I don't know, just because of those personal hangups. It's like, I don't want people to get the wrong idea and think that I'm like, that I don't love the hobby, or that I'm just here to throw a fit just cause. But also I want to be able to like be honest and like not have to worry about stepping on toes, and hopefully know that people are like understand the context and where that's coming from. Yeah, even posting videos about like, man, it would be great if publishers were more eco-friendly. Even that video, which I'm like, people should agree, right? I think I have some valid criticisms. I have admitted that I don't know everything that goes into it and that there are other things going on. These are just some of my thoughts. We have people arguing, saying, no, they shouldn't be. I'm like, bro, what are you even saying? What is happening here? People are just arguing to argue. It's like, come on, really, guys? Really? Even if there are things that I don't know. It's crazy. Here. I need something. I could use like washi tapes and stuff, but I kind of want to just keep it to like stuff that I got on the trip. Oh, this is cute. Oh, badger. I'm cutting him out. He's going on here for sure. Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. Some people are just there to like argue or be contrarian. I'm like, I am critical, and I often will bring up my opinion or like a separate way of looking at things, but it's not because I want to pick a fight or be right. It's just because I'm like, it's cool to think about, right? And that's part of the reason why, going back to our first topic, part of the reason why I loved being at Protospiel. Like, I felt like I could just throw out ideas and nobody, I hope, nobody like took it the wrong way and got butthurt. People genuinely wanted to hear the feedback, even if I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm not your target audience, but as someone who isn't your target audience, these are kind of some of my thoughts. And it felt like people were really receptive to that. And that was one of the things that Also going back to thinking about farmers market. Yes. Okay, I didn't even notice that was in here. Going back to what I was saying about my partner, it was so cool because like going to Protospiel initially, he was like, man, you're gonna be there, you played so many games, you like, this is like your hobby, and I'm just gonna be like a fly on the wall, like, yeah, I don't know, the game was fun, but it was so cool because as somebody who does enjoy story in games and enjoys campaigns and enjoys theme, and that sort of thing, it was like the perfect, like, we had both ends of the spectrum, no pun intended. We had both ends of the spectrum in terms of giving designers feedback about their designs, right? You had somebody like me who's super critical and thinking about like the mechanics first, who likes puzzly, like Euro style, really like brain burner games. And then you have someone who really enjoys like the world and the environment and also mechanics, right? But like that's not the focus of games, who likes cooperative games versus competitive games and things. And it was just like so cool to be able to provide both perspectives, right? Because, you know, you're going to have your target audience and then you're going to have other people. And it's like, how do you make your game reach and how far do you want it to reach and how much do you want to accommodate people from different perspectives? So I felt like it was really cool. And, you know, seeing designers get excited about hearing not just like, oh, this was great. Like, I feel like the times where the designers got really excited about feedback was when we were saying like, but this doesn't quite work, or like, oh, but like, wouldn't it be cool if, or like, how could I have this idea, but like, how could you fix that? Or how could you change that? Right. And it was so cool because it's just like, everybody was like, I think everybody knew that if we didn't like games, we wouldn't freaking be there. Like, if we didn't absolutely love the hobby, you would not spend hours in a sweaty room playtesting prototypes, right? So it's just like that like goodwill was already there. I'll put this here, I think. Was already there. And it was just so cool to be able to speak openly and like not have to worry about stepping on people's toes or anything like that. I don't know. It was just really fun. And I want to do more of that on the channel, I mean. Boxes are too big. I agree. I definitely agree. Gosh. Yeah. But again, that's, you know, that's a personal preference thing. And that's my preference in terms of like what I find attractive, but also in terms of a practical standpoint. Y'all, there's only so much space in my house. I don't live in a freaking mansion. You know, I got that YouTube money, but just kidding. That's a total freaking joke. But yeah, okay. How do I get this? See, this is like hard because the crevasse is yeah, there we go. Okay, maybe I'll cut that over there. I'm now realizing I didn't bring like a lot of my tools in this room for cutting and adjusting. But yeah, what are you doing here? Time is it? I don't even know. Oh my god, it's 5 p.m. Lord have mercy. Okay, I'm definitely gonna do the food one off stream. Sorry. Or not sorry. Y'all are probably like, yeah, please do. Go home. Go home, you're drunk. Okay. Let's finish this one up. Oh, I did farmer's market. That's food though. No! Whoops. Okay. I think I caught it before I stuck it all down. There's that. Okay, cool. Maybe we'll just leave some of the page showing through here. I think that's fine. I'm just gonna need something for over here, but I might grab that later. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's a tricky thing. If there are types of videos that y'all want to see more of, please let me know. Because like I said, with analytics these days and like how things function on the back end, like nobody knows what's actually going on. The only way I can get any sort of idea is if y'all tell me directly and the social media gods decide to get their shit together and like actually not randomly delete crap. well, you know. That. Hold it like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll go like a little bit on here on it. Yeah, that's perfect. Love that. Gotta do some teeth. Yep. Pretty good. I'm gonna try to finish up here. So I don't know. Hopefully all or any of that was coherent. For those of y'all who are skipping through whatever, watching in the future, let me just be clear. Context is important. Love the hobby. Love making content. Trying to navigate how to continue to do that in a way that, you know, feels legit and makes me happy and hopefully is valuable in some way to all of y'all and enjoyable to all of y'all. That's really the main goal here. What am I putting here? Maybe I'll just put here. Bring up. What do we do? That could work. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna cut this and maybe tuck it under if we. Two sparkling lakes downtown. Hopefully I didn't cut that too short. We'll see. But yeah, a quick flip through of some of the other junk journal pages for those of y'all who are interested in that part. If you aren't, no worries. No harm, no foul. Foul like a foul, F-O-U-L, or foul like a bird? I just realized I have no idea how English works. But hey, good news. We can stream again, it seems. My internet has decided. And my camera seems to be deciding to work again after shitting the bed the other day on stream and me having to reconnect it a million times during the unboxing stream. And by a million, I mean two, but it felt stressful and panicky. That's the other thing, y'all. Technology. I don't know what it is. I feel like half the times I'm over here trying to make a video or something goes wrong, and it's like, man, I crossed so many stupid mental hurdles to get to the point where I'm even recording or editing, and then some dumb thing happens, and I'm like, I just can't. Can't deal. It's never a smooth process. It's never as easy as you think it's gonna be, right? If it was just one thing, I could get over it, but oftentimes it's the intersection of many things, and that's what makes it really challenging, unfortunately. Oh, and I still have these too. All right, let's see if I can work them. Let me just trim these edges real quick. I don't even know if the junk journal's been in center for the camera most of the time here, or what's going on. I have not been paying attention. I'm so sorry. I'll go back and watch the stream and realize, like, yep, the junk journal was out of the camera frame the entire time. Good, great. Time to just delete that whole stream. Like, I don't know. These are the things that happen. Sometimes I record videos and I record like 5 times because I like have ADHD and I can't get it together and actually say real words or have a cohesive thought. And then like, oh, I finally got a take I'm happy with. And then I go to edit it. I'm like, oh, I forgot to take the lens off the camera. Whoops. There's just dumb stuff like that all day, every day, baby. But we're still here. We're still making content somehow, for some reason. I think is that. Oh, we gotta do this like little noble guy over here. I could probably do this later, but my brain is really fixated on just trimming these edges and then figuring out the rest later. So we're gonna do it. Okay. But yeah, if you haven't already, go check out the little vlog video. It's just a little visual taste, you know, of kind of what the weekend was like. I really try to encapsulate encapsulate. Like I said, English is hard. I really tried to capture just like the overall vibe and sentiment of the trip through some of the clips, and just yeah, I don't know. I wanted to do it for y'all so you could see. I also wanted to do it for myself and my partner who went on the trip, just as like a little visual memento of what happened. And I hope I struck a good balance of getting like enough clips, but also I feel like I was able to still be really present and not focus too heavily on, oh, but this is like work. This is influencer. Gotta like create content 24/7. Like, I don't know. It's rough when the thing that you're passionate about and the thing that is your biggest social outlet also becomes something of like a job, right? That's why I never wanted to do that, but here we are. And again, overall, so grateful and happy. Like, I cannot complain. I mean, I can complain, but like, I should not complain. But these are like considerations where it's like I go to a convention. It's like, do I whip out my camera? Do I awkwardly ask people if they want to be in a video? Do I like do all this stuff? And it's like, I see so many cool opportunities, and I think there are some people that would be really on board for that. But I also don't want to be that person. I think I just need to get over it and like trust that people will be honest with me if I am like open and honest with them about it. So yeah, versus when you're recording a video and the mic is muted. Yep, all day, every day. Yep. I know you get me, Danny. Woo, it's bad. It's real bad. Where I'm like, the lighting is off and I can't color correct, or then I go to color correct and it like corrupts the video file or some crazy like, I don't even know. It's been so many dumb things that have happened that I'm just like, why is this happening? Okay, great. I guess we're not actually making that video that I spent 5 hours recording and starting to edit, because then there's just an entire part that's completely unusable, but it's fine. Nobody panic. It's really okay. I forgot I cut these out. Cute. Maybe I'll put them on the food page. Anyway, all right. So here's page 2 of some of the game stuff from Protospiel, and here's page 1 that we did with our bingo sheets. Yay! And I'll do a quick flip through of just some of the other things that made. Oh no, I forgot that very good sticker. Hold on. Oh, I put one there. Put one of these here too. I'll do that later. I'll figure that out later. All right, my brain has already moved on. So yeah, there's this one page with nothing on it. I'm gonna do all the food stuff there off stream. I also have a feeling that my overhead camera, which is my old phone, might die soon, because it like slowly charges while it's in there plugged in, but it also like uses way more battery than it gets back. So flip through in case anybody wants to stick around and see junk journal. If you don't, no harm, no worries. Thanks for joining live, or thanks for watching in the future. And we'll see you next time. Otherwise, let's do this. All right, this is my first ever junk journal flip through. I feel like I need like long nails, like all the friends who make shorts about junk journaling where they're like tapping constantly and like doing cool stuff. All right, anyway, so yeah, bye-bye, junk diary. So this is like wrapping paper that I got from Germany, and just some like stickers and things. This is from, I shared this at the beginning of the stream. So this is my first attempt at junk journaling, just like some blocks and things, some games that we were playing at the time, washi tape. And this is from the next day. We went out for brunch, which was really nice and fun. And then like this is the bag from the brunch place, the takeout bag. And then we have White Castle matcha. What up? Shout out to all my White Castle fans. This is the I finally found out how to use the multilingual or the extra language rulebooks from all those DeVere games that they always put 20 rulebooks. Put them in my junk journal now, so there you go. So yeah, this is from the expansion, which super fun. Love it, by the way. We have, I was watching Fear the Walking Dead at the time, so we have, oh no, fell off. Okay. So I just had like a little Fear the Walking Dead inspired one. It's interactive. Yeah, I got these like ink stencils that I tried out. Big Chipotle day, love Chipotle. So there's that. Then we had a friend of mine came over, we did some junk journaling together. She had like this big cat and some of these cutouts from this like feminist book that she brought over. That was really fun. I actually met her through her husband, who I met at a local convention some years ago. So there you go, just making friends all around. What a great hobby. This was my first game night spread. Using some leftover papers and like washi tapes and stuff. Played Wordsy, Otter, Role Player, Super Susaru Soup. That was pretty fun. Kind of trying to make it like a little chalkboard. These are stick together, maybe? Okay. And then this was just a day that I spent with my partner. We got Burger King. Isn't this burger so cute? Y'all see that? And played Black Angel, so that was really fun. This is that castle block that I had been working on. I finally finished it, so that was cool. We have a bunch of our game group went to Greek Fest, so we did like all day gaming, and then we went to Greek Fest. Yay, there's us. So I tried to make the Greek flag out of like scraps and washi tape. Hopefully that comes through. The food is so good. There's like a little church right by, right on the edge of my neighborhood, that a Greek church, and they do Greek Fest twice a year. This is from one of my favorite movies / now TV series called Creep. If you like horror, if you like indie horror, you have to check it out if you haven't. But yeah, this is all based around that, which is pretty fun. Little peach fuzz on it. Then we have one of my favorite bands, Gunship. Got a little CD action. This one I did not like at the time that I made it, but it has grown on me. Yeah. There's that. We had a movie night. We watched Drive. I got my little Nancy Roll Life figures, came in the mail, which I've been obsessed with. This is from Boys Night. What up? So we played the Magnificent, which is what these like posters are from, the different cards on there. Then another game night. So we played Nazca, the Korean drawing game. That's what this bird is from. We also played Twilight Inscription, which is, these are like the things off the dice. And then we played Nana Toridori, like the card shedding game. So I incorporated all of those into it. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's been a lot of work, but here we are. This was just a random day out shopping. My first time getting Korean corn dogs. Very delicious. Love that. This was another game day where my partner's roommate and his best friend and friend's fiance came over. We played Great Dinosaur Rush, which is what all these little things are. If you know from the game, you get like different colored bones that you draft, and then you put them together into an actual skeleton. And played A Message from the Stars, which I've been loving. I would not be surprised if that's on the top games of this year list, because we played it a lot. We played Fuji Flush. What up? One of the best games of all time. Long Shot the Dice game, and like I said, Great Dinosaur Rush. They also got to play the monster game where you shove your hand in the box. I can't think of the name right now, but I taught that one and they played it. It was a maximum 4 players, so it was like, it is worth it for me to just sit and watch you guys have a blast with this. Monster Box, maybe? I don't know. I did an unboxing. I'll put a link later. This is one of the blocks that I did that's Alice in Wonderland themed. Yeah, it's actually like a little purse that opens up, which is pretty fun. And I went to several places to try to find like playing cards that I could just cut up. That was a whole thing. And then Sweetlands was delivered. Y'all know I love Sweetlands, right? I made a whole thread dedicated to it. Again, the alternate rulebook was cut up for these purposes. And then I had some cake building blocks that like just really fit the theme and color palette nicely. So yeah. So glad that I finally have it back and can play it. This is from a bunch of my pen pals. So these are things that I've gotten over the years. Some of y'all. I know I sent this to some of you, like Danny. But yeah, just like stickers and other things. Little postcard I put in there. Just showcasing some of the cool ephemera and what have you that I've gotten from pen paling with people over the years. Oh, hey, look. So yeah, that's Pretty fun. Spread for the buns. Y'all know. Well, you probably know I have two bunnies. This is Shelly Belly. This is through Maximus. Shelly and Matt. Just photos of them when they were younger, when I had a Polaroid, and just various bunny tapes and stickers. I have a lot. I figured I might as well use them. From another game night. See? Flatline. Boom. We also played Bosa, and we played Soda Jerk Soda. And we got our some of our games came in, including the new Vivo with Saibapu art. This is from a wedding that I ordained for one of my besties and his lovely wife, who I adore. So we did like a 2-day spread. Ooh, so this is like the day side for some of the like pre-wedding stuff, and then it flips to, I don't know if you guys can see, I like cut the edge so you can peek through to the other side, the night side, for the actual event. You can peek through the little window there. That took a disgusting amount of time. I don't even want to talk about it, but I think it turned out great. So we're fine there. And then we have, these are the figures. I don't like collectibles, but I love this girl. Her name's Nightmare, and I'm like, yeah, slutty goth bunny girl with an attitude. I love her. I want to be her. So I got her and Fairy Moth, and then I got this little bunny dude. We call him Jeremy. He's their adopted son. And this is from Unboxing Stream. Yay! So you guys probably recognize these if you were there for that. So we got Murai, Farmhands, Oshi. I realized that I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time, and Consenticle. That was super fun. And then we have another game night spread. This was for 2 game nights, I think. Friday, Thursday, from Thursday, yeah. Thursday and Friday we played some games. I went to Naperville with one of my friends, went downtown, got some stuff. This is from Digsaw. I tried to make it look like a computer screen. So this is like the window with Digsaw playing in it. And then just a printout of some of the other games we played. And then I was sick this weekend. I got super sick, I think I mentioned in the monthly plays video in October. So this is my this is my sick boy weekend spread, because I was very sick. It was not good. I ended up going to the hospital, which was very fun. And this is Supernatural. I don't know if y'all, we've talked about it in the Discord a couple times. I love the show. I've seen the entire series multiple times. My partner and I are watching through it right now. So I just made a whole like Winchester Journal spread dedicated to that because it felt appropriate. So we've got like a bunch of little like interactables here, and then a little matchbooks down here. Yeah. So there's that. We're almost done. Orcs Must Die. Love makes some good tower defense. Like little dudes in here. There's a little secret note. Oh, should we open it? It says secret. Do not open. Have a nice day. Yeah, I was also at this time getting back into origami, which is where these little dudes came from. Hi. Hello. And that's where this came from. This is part of a Chinese thread book. So each one opens, and I put like the different games we played on game night in there. Keep track, and then it also opens this way. Got fortune from like a little fortune telling machine thing in there. And then we have from Wednesday game night some other games that we played. It was very fun. Good ones. Guju is a freaking banger. I got that during when I like, I'm gonna order a bunch of kids games from Noble Knight stream, and we play that game regularly. It's kind of gross. Little envelope there. Instructions for the thread book. Okay. What else do we got? Got some blocks that I did. Pretty cool, like orb. These are just my most unused washi tapes, and I'm like, I'm gonna do something with that and try and make it pretty. Gummy bears, another block that I made. This one, it smells good. Can y'all smell it? I'm gonna waft it into the It smells like gummy bears. We were eating a lot of gummy bears at game nights for a while, so that's where that came from. These are from my partner ordered a bunch of MREs which are like military rations for like cheap food. So he always gives me the little packets of goodies. Like there's like freeze-dried coffee, matches, and all sorts of stuff in there. So I just took some of the packaging from those. Big snack day, went and got sushi. That was super fun. This is some of the alcohol marker coloring that I've gotten into. So this is only 2 markers only, and then you can like layer them to get depth and different like shades of the same tones. I want to do a page dedicated to that since I hadn't gotten the color in a while. This is from another game night. I try to make it look like homework. So we have mathematics here, which is some of the numbers that we had in Take 5 or 6 nymphs. We have literature, which is the Bramertown musicians. I got Brayman on the trick-taking game. We have some conversions. I'm trying to make it look like chemistry, but it's really Hadrian's Wall, and that's what the coordinates are on the geography one too. They're from Hadrian's Wall. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be feeling better too. My gosh. This was a big day. We went to got some treats, and we went to Ghoulish Mortals, which is like a horror oddity shop. That was super fun. I tried to make the curtains out of the trash bag, but they came out kind of uneven, and then they're sticky, so I was like, I don't want to screw with that anymore. This one isn't the best looking one, but it was a great day. My bro came over on a whim because his wife was at a bachelorette party, and we just played Elden Ring for like 10 hours. It was awesome. And I worked on this in between. And he brought me his container of brand risk, which is, if y'all don't know, Pay Money Wubby, one of my favorite streamers of all time. So we did a Wubby spread in here. Then more Nazi, I got some like blocks for that. So I put these 6 figures together, went and got tacos, which was really yummy. This is all some of the different fall leaves that I collected. I was just shoving them in my pockets like the autistic child that I am. I'd be on a walk with a friend and be like, I'm sorry, I gotta go pick up that leaf, and just shove it in my pocket. But I think it turned out nice, so it was worth it. A little pre-Halloween, we did some pumpkin carving. Actual Halloween, these are old window clings from when I was a kid that my mom was gonna throw out, and she's like, do you want any of these? I'm like, hell yeah, I do. This was a magical day. I think I posted it on the Discord, but I saw a squirrel eating a fortune cookie, and then I sent the video to a couple friends. One of the friends said, but what did your fortune say? So I went back like an hour later, and I found the fortune, and I don't know if you guys can read it. It's super small, but it says, your dearest wish will come true. I'm basically a Disney princess, y'all. So there's that. Gunfire Reborn. We've been playing the shit out of this game. I'm gonna be honest, it's been kind of disgusting. It's a first-person roguelike shooter. You can play with up to 4 people. Really got into it when it was in beta, and have been coming back ever since, and have convinced some friends to play with me, which has been great. And then we got into Rainbow, because I'm like, I'm running out of things to do. So we did like a red day, we did an orange day, we did a yellow day, we did a white day for game night twice, Wednesday and Thursday. So it just kind of worked out that way. It made you look. And then we did a green day, not the band. These are actually stickers from old sticker books from when I was a kid that I went over and stole. And hey, look, where are those gills? Love them. We have a blue day featuring some blocks that I'm currently working on. We did a purple day featuring more blocks that I'm working on. We're doing a lot of blocking. I'll have to take a picture of the shelf and send it. And then we made brownies and coffee, which was super cozy. And then this is from some children's books that I got. We have like little gingerbread house. It was cold outside. It was warm inside. And this is like the first weekend that it snowed this year for winter. And then we played Tend. I mentioned that I played this over on Discord, but it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I don't know that I'll buy it for myself. We were talking about big boxes and how that's a turnoff for me, but I'm glad I got to try it. So this is my little Tend spread. And then I think this is the last one, which is just snack overload. We got to play Oaf and Sumu. last game night, as well as some other ones, but those were the 2 new ones we tried. So yeah, pretty crazy that this is gonna be done after I do the food spread and maybe like one more wrap-up spread. It's been a long work in progress of like daily stuff. There's that dingo. There's more game stuff from Protospiel, but yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Again, thanks for y'all. Whoa, we're crashing out right at the end here. Just wanted to say thanks to everybody who joined live. It's been a pleasure. And if you're watching in the future, thanks for watching, hanging out, chatting. You know, I know that this style of stream isn't going to be for everyone, but hopefully it's pretty chill for some background stuff if you were able to join or view it in the future. And yeah, that's about all the time we have for today. Yeah, you have a great night too. I'm sure we'll talk soon. All right, take it easy, everyone. And be expecting, knock on wood, be expecting more content. October was rough, but we're hanging in there and we're gonna power through. So thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye.